And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at an expansion for Hoyuk called Anatolia. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my review for Hoyuk because this won't make any sense otherwise. But this is a small expansion that came with the game that brings in achievements. There's 3 types of achievements players are going to be doing. You're going to be working towards 2 of them, and there are extra ways to score points. Here's a brief overview. In this expansion, at the beginning of the game, each player in turn order is going to pick basically which of these they're going to do. They can pick 2 of the 3. So players are going to go around and pick which of these achievements they're going to try to do. You can only try to do 1 achievement at a time, but you can, if one fails completely, you can try another one. Each achievement is going to give a certain number of victory points if you get that one done, or maybe second most victory points. So you're going to be trying to do these as well as you're basically playing the full game when you do these. Let's take a look at each one. The first achievement is water supply, and it has to start on houses that are attached to water somehow. So whether it's the river or the lake on the board, when you use one of the building elements, so for example this one here, you can skip one of these building elements and instead place a drop on your building. So you'd place a drop on your building. After that, you can continue to do that and place a drop on each building. And eventually, when you get 5 buildings next to each other, each with a drop on it, they have to be attached together. So something, basically some sort of catastrophe that ruins them or causes them to go away. It doesn't work until you have 5 next to each other. The first one has to be on water. After that, they just have to be adjacent to each other. And once you do that, you've accomplished that achievement. You essentially just have to put these down, but you're giving up something every time you do that because of the 3 different things on the tile. One of them has to be the water drop you put down. You're also kind of putting all your eggs into one basket, so to speak. The next achievement is the Valley Festival. There are 8 different tokens that are available to be gotten in the Valley Festival. And as you collect different cards, let's say you collect this card the normal way throughout the game, you have to then see, does it match one of these pictures? No, it doesn't. Does that match one of the pictures? No, it doesn't. So when you're doing these, you're trying to find the picture. Normally the picture doesn't matter, but if you find the picture, you're going to be able to get these. You have to turn in 5 different these. So if I have this one maybe, and I have the beans, and I have this card here, and I have the pottery, and what else would I need for this one? Because there's a lot of the cards just don't match this at all. So I'm looking, I already have the pottery. Did I get the shells yet? I did it. So here's the shells. I then discard the cards. I take one of each of the tokens, and then I'm going to get 18 points at the end of the game as it shows here. By the way, the water is worth 15 points. But these are harder to do. This is one that you can't lose, this achievement, because once you take in the tokens, they're yours forever. The artifact one is the easiest one. When you add a new building, you just simply place one of your artifacts. You have 2 of them on the board. The artifact, just like the water droplets, needs to take the place of one of the 3 things you build each turn. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get both artifacts out on the table. If you have both out on the table at the end of the game, you get 10 points. If you have 1, you have 5 points. Now this is the easiest achievement to do by far. You just place out 2 anywhere. However, if any catastrophe happens to that block, the artifact goes away. So it's really easy to destroy them. If any catastrophe hits your block ever, you lose the artifact. So you'll probably be building and constantly rebuilding these artifacts for 5 points each. Anyhow, that's what this expansion has. The concept of this game sounds really good, right? Hey, get some different things here, different ways to score, go for different things. But in practice, I just found this one to be kind of a dud. I like the idea more than it actually happening. Because what happens is, these achievements basically get in the way of the game. It's like, hey, there's different ways to win this game. Concentrate on these instead. I don't know if I like that. It's like, ooh, I'm doing water, and I'm getting water drops, and I'm not building shrines, and I'm not doing this, I'm getting water. I got water! But you didn't do anything else to do that. Or the one I really didn't like the market one, because you're looking for those specific pictures. Those pictures before were something you can kind of ignore. Now you have to be constantly looking at them, and it's just an extra level of complexity. The shrines is the easiest, but it's so random. It's like, oh, boom, that one blew up. Oh, I got it, I built it back, boom, it blew up again. And so while the pieces here are really cool, I really like these extra pieces, and the concept's interesting, it's just a little bit too much. The fact that you have to pick which two you're going to work at the beginning of the game. I don't even know why that rule is in here per se. Why not just let people do whatever achievement they want to do at any particular time? As it is, there's an extra round at the beginning of the game where you pick your achievements and players are deciding on that, and you're like, oh, I picked one that everyone else is doing. So I'm kind of competing with people over that one. Or I like the market. I mean, the market one really is important. The fewer people who do it, the easier it is to pull that one off. And it's just another extra thing that doesn't add much to the game. Sure, it's different ways to score big piles of points, but you're giving up probably big piles of points in other ways to get to it. So it's kind of a sideways step for the game rather than something that enhances and enriches the game. In fact, it almost feels like, and I don't know, but it feels like this expansion was something where like, all right, we need an expansion for Kickstarter. Guys, quick, think of something. Okay, oh, that's good. We'll throw that in. And it doesn't feel like it. It feels like this was made because someone wanted to add something to the game rather than something that just naturally was a cool addition to the game. So, I'm not a big fan of this one. The game is interesting, but this, while it's not like horrible, it doesn't really add enough for me to go out of my way to get it. Dice Tower Judgment, you can skip it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
Yeah? Yeah.